Is it Peterlin? Peterlin, I'm sorry. Okay, I don't have my glasses on. Let me put my glasses on. Peterlin, okay, I can see it now. Who's the CEO of the Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama, and no stranger to our show is Alex Rudick,
Alex.
who has been here before, and we've talked about her effort with distracted driving and her story behind that. We have both of them here because there's an important vote coming up about distracted driving. So let's bring them in and let's talk to these ladies about this today.
Yeah, we've been watching, Alex, the legislative session going on down in Montgomery, and we've heard this mentioned. You guys want to fill us in on your side of it and your participation in this?
Yes, sir. So the House committee is voting on it this Wednesday. There has been some changes to it. For instance, in the past, you couldn't use your phone at all, but they've changed it to if you're at a stoplight, you can use it, or if it's an absolute emergency, like calling the police or fire department, something like that, you can use it for that instance.
Are these changes in the current bill?
Yes, sir.
That you're talking about? So the bill presented didn't permit those things, but as the bill goes through the process, there are changes among legislators that want to amend bills. So you're saying the final version is making some exceptions?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Karen, how do you feel about Alex's work that she's done on this? Maybe I should back up just a little bit. Alex, remind people how you got here.
It all started with my cousin Jessica's death. She died in a car accident, and I was around 15 when this happened, right before I was going to start my Gold Award project. And what better project than to honor her in this way? And that's how I started. I never thought I'd be able to, even do this type of thing, trying to change the law without Miss Peterlin's help. She really encouraged me and got me to this point, and without her, I don't know where I'd be.
Well, you've done an amazing job and stuck with this for some time. It's been interesting to watch the process take place. Karen, what do you think about Alex's work on this?
So first of all, I strongly believe no family should be impacted by the loss of a family member by a distracted driver. The use of a cell phone or any type of a device by a driver should never result in the loss of a family member. And we should put in place legislation to say that when you're behind the wheel, you should be focused on the operation of that vehicle. That's a weapon.
It absolutely.
It's a weapon.
It
and so when
is.
Alex,
we're all guilty of it. I mean,
yeah,
at some
it
point.
is. And you know what? We should be cognizant. And when Alex came to present her project, and when she was very emotional, she was very close with her cousin, and when she said what she was going to present to her project, and she felt very strongly about educating. She wanted to be able to educate, other youth and other, adults of the impact of distracted driving. I said, but why don't you take it a step further? Why don't you change the law? Can I do that? Sure you can. Sure you can. Well, look where she's at.
Yeah.
But we really do. We really need to do that. But this is a no-brainer. Alex says it's common sense. I say it's a no-brainer. What got defeated was the bill that you couldn't use a device anytime you were in the vehicle. That bill got defeated. And so the bill is now being amended so that if you're at a stoplight or if it's an emergency, that you can use your device. And that's what's in committee now. Hopefully it's going to pass committee, get on the House floor, that the House will pass the bill, it will go to the Senate floor, and that we're going to have sufficient time for the Senate to pass the bill. We need support. Our community here in Trussville, our communities across the state, we need to get behind Alex. We need to get behind the organization, the distracted driving organization that Alex has been working with. And we need to get behind her. And we need to support legislation that says, when you get in your car, turn it off. You know what? When Alex started this project, I have a setting on my iPhone. I have that setting. I have not, since I have the setting on my iPhone. I can't receive a call. I can't receive a call. and I don't. It's that important to me.
You mentioned that people need to get behind Alex and support. What is the best way that people can show that support right now to make a difference? To
What's your
still work
petition?
through?
There's a petition online that basically says if you want the law changed, then sign it. Many people have. It's right on my website. To me, it's important, and especially, when you get in a car, you may have a child in there with you that's 10, 15. They see what you're doing. They watch, and children act what they see more than what they hear. It's important to me because you wouldn't want them, as soon as they start driving, to use their phone. So don't do it just for them, too.
Alex, did you have the opportunity to address the legislative committee?
I have not. It will pass, if it passes the House committee, and then the House, I will go speak to the Senate about this.
Okay.
I just want to interrupt for just a second. We were talking about her website. So if you want a link to that, you can go to our website, trustvilletribune.com, and we have a link to her website with all this stuff and some videos on there. It's One Distraction. Isn't that it? onedistraction.weebly.com. But we have that link on Trustville Tribune, so you can just search distracted driving, and that story will come up.
Do we know the bill number, the House bill number on that?
It's 611.
611? Oh, that's an easy one to remember.
Yes.
That's pretty good. Alex, I followed the debate in the House on this bill, the one that was defeated, the first version. A lot of objections came up. And just from my personal perspective, I thought some of the objections that were brought up were more smoke screens and really didn't have any validity to them. How do you feel about the two changes that you mentioned? These sound like good, valid improvements to the bill. Do you feel that way?
I think that it's good that we all make a compromise, because when we make a compromise, more people are happy and more people can, I'm just happy that finally it may be passed. And if it's, I make a compromise, sure, they can use it at a stoplight. Or yes, if there's an emergency, I do believe that's right. But, more people will probably be able to connect with this and use this if there is one. So yes.
Okay. Karen, just a quick question for you. You're the CEO of the Girl Scouts of North Central Alabama, correct?
Yes, sir.
How many scouts have you had get a bill before the legislature? I mean, is this a common occurrence with the Girl Scouts, or is this kind of new?
No, it's about the third time I've
had. Is it really?
Absolutely. Our young women are truly outstanding. And Alex is just about the third one. We've had one that's actually been passed when we had legislation about state parks, and when our legislature was going to cut funding for our state parks. We had one of our young women that had support from several legislators and restored funding for our state parks. And so, our young women are passionate, and when they find a cause, they find solutions. And I'm telling you, they work hard. They find the right legislators to find support and get behind them. And Alex is just one example. And I will tell you, she is not, she's not typical. She is really atypical, but she's also a National Gold Award Girl Scout. She is one of 10 young women across the United States that was recognized as the best of the best. So, I'm telling you, and she's right here in Trustville. So, but they find those what they're really passionate about, and they really go for it.
Well, this is not Alex's first visit here, so we're well aware that we've got a special one in this town. And Alex, I will tell you, I've been following state government for a long, long time, and it's one thing to get somebody to sponsor a bill. It's another thing to get it through committee and get it to the House floor for a vote, and then to get it to be amended and to come back.
Absolutely.
What you're doing is kind of miraculous. This does not happen very often, and you've done a really good job to get it this far.
And we'll be watching too as it continues.
Yeah, it's a good bill. I favor it. I'll tell you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I have let my legislators know where I stand on this, by the way, Alex. And that was before I knew you were behind it.
And I tell you, folks here in Trustville, please, go on the website. Please support it. This is important. This is important for generations to come. Really, seriously. Just think about it. You know, the first cell phone I got, and you think about it, those first bag phones that we got, you know, I hated it. I locked it in the trunk of my car when they first gave me one because I didn't want to talk on a phone. And now we can't live without them. But sometimes, you know, when we get behind the wheel of that car, do we really need to be on it 24/7? Let's really think about it. Where do our priorities really need to be?
I think that's a great point. Ladies, as always, thank you so much for your time. We're going to take another quick break, but when we come back, we'll be with the people from the